starts fine. She literally was 10 days. And she's I need to see something. And she was like, I'm not going to get in space. I'm just like overwhelmed and burnt out. She's had a cast in her hand for 6 weeks. And she's just, and she gets it off tomorrow. But it's just like, it all just sort of weighed in on her. And I said, I think all right, Morgantown for breakfast. So I did the control, but I went to Western North Carolina, and she was, so she was sort of being like, we should be.
I have a letter from the state bar, rather firmly telling me that I'm not allowed to tell people I'm an attorney and counselor and advocate or anything like that.
And she had something for her sorority degree, so she had to get married anyway. So I was like, I can do breakfast.
So that's the plan.
Okay.
So he's going to see the and then I Pastor Jeremy
She'll come home about the dinner. She's home for
I actually am. Actually, that's actually my name.
the tracker sign. It's the tracker sign.
She's so
That's his dad. That's his dad. That yellow tracker sign. I'm making you're right there below share.
Don't put it in that.
and she likes the
I'm so sure. Yeah, I know. She does lift us up when we fall, right?
stick me in fingerprints. They don't know how to choose. I was like,
Get on there. It's like, who's this guy?
and then CSI and photography. She's a forensic photography. So it's just forensics. She's so excited. But she was stressed because lots of internships. She got herself because everything going on.
I can sit wherever, but I thought
She had friends who got internships and got and then they came back with a month later and was like, oh, never mind, I'm out of money. So now I'm doing it. I mean, it's just yeah, she applied to Durham, and they called her and told her, do you really have forensics? Because our program is only 2 years of forensics. And then it's more of an end-to-end, like, filing, like all of the stuff. She's like, Christiana told me that they had to offer. And she said, I'm right there because I have to take pictures, so I'm above Josh. No. Yeah, so she's super excited. She'll be Italian, not involved. And then 45 minutes. But they're all loud, so I'm sure they're excited. I mean, I always thought about it. I lived in Australia for a year before I went to college. So my mom was like, wherever is closer. But that's so I came to Oregon and it's like 8 hours of travel. It's only 3 hours. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, follow me everywhere.
I slipped in your yard yesterday. Well, your son was running, so I read that. I had to go check this. So I got the third swarm off your neighbor. And there's some left behind bees that took up residence in the traps, so they switched out.
Trying to teach them how to be self-service, and every answer was, I'm going to apologize. No, that's not the answer. We got another challenge. Sometimes I'm like, we were there last night, but literally. Oh, yeah. 6 people around.
Good afternoon. Can I get everyone to rise for the presentation of colors, please? Color guard. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Everybody, please be seated. Well, good afternoon. My name is John Leone. I'm the Troop Committee Chair and the recent Scoutmaster for Troop 149. And on behalf of the Raper family and Troop 149, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for attending today as we are celebrating Jackson Eagle Court of Honor. As we open this Court of Honor, I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for today, Mr. George Manley. Can you please come forward?
Good afternoon. I want to welcome you to today's Eagle Court of Honor recognizing Jackson Raper on the achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout. As Mr. Leone mentioned, my name is George Manley. I have known Jackson since he first started in Cub Scouts, and I hesitate to say it, in 2013. It's just a decade, plus 2. As our boys came up through the ranks together with Alex and Jackson, my 2 boys, George and Charlie, that are here today, it's been amazing getting to know Jackson. He's one of, when I think of Jackson versus the other boys that was in the den, Jackson is one of the kids that he always knew what he wanted. It might not have been right all the time, maybe not most of the time, but he knew what he wanted and he stuck to it. And then, as we all know, if you at least know what you want and go after it, you can really achieve it. And we're going to honor that today. And there's one person that is with us, but not physically, that we want to honor. That's Kathy. She's currently in the hospital, but doing well. And we want to say hi. We are live streaming, so we can wave to Kathy and people in Texas that, hey, thinking about you and get better. But before we begin, I want to welcome the pastor, Pastor Jeremy Troxler, to come forward and provide the invocation.
Thank you. Would you please be in a spirit of prayer with me? Gracious God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together as family, friends, leaders, and fellow scouts on this significant day in Jackson's life. We thank you not only for this day itself, but for all it represents and for the way it celebrates a long journey full of challenges and friendship and struggles, and yet also joy. God, we thank you for the ways that you have sustained Jackson through all of the merit badges earned, all of the oaths committed to, for the ways that you have shaped his character alongside others and enabled his service to our community. We thank you, God, for the ways that little by little, month by month, year by year, you enable Jackson to be faithful. And we celebrate today his commitment, his hard work. We celebrate his openness to the path of duty and honor. We ask, God, now your blessing then on this family, on Jackson, on this troop, on all who have mentored and supported and encouraged him, and all who have helped him along the way. We pray, God, that Jackson and all gathered here would share the joy that this day represents, and that Jackson would feel our pride in him and would feel a spirit of celebration as well. We pray, God, that you would help him to continue to take his next steps in becoming the person and the scout and the young man that you are making him to be. So may your Spirit be among us as we share this time. For we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Charsler. Now we would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If we all could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And we already did that. It's all right. All right, now if all scouts, both current and former, please remain standing or stand and recite the scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, to keep other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, morally straight. And now we will do the 100 scouts. You can be seated. The 100 scouts. It has been said that any 100 young people who become scouts, it must be confessed that 30 will drop out in their first year. Of the 100, only rarely will one ever appear before a juvenile court judge. 12 of the 100 will be from families that belong to no church. Through scouting, these 12 and many of their families will be brought into contact with the church and will continue to be active all their lives. Each of the 100 will learn something from scouting. Almost all will develop hobbies that will add interest throughout the rest of their lives. Approximately one-half will serve in the military and in varying degrees profit from their scout training. Many will find their future vocation through merit badge work and scouting contacts. 17 of the 100 scouts will later become scout leaders and will give leadership to thousands of additional boys. At least one will use it to save another person's life, and many will credit it with saving their own. Yet, of all these statistics, only 4 or maybe 5 of the 100 will reach the rank of Eagle, and one will later say that they valued the rank of Eagle above their college degree. Speaking of statistics, across all of the United States military service academics, Eagle Scouts are consistently overrepresented, with over 12% of all service academy graduates being Eagle Scouts. Further, military branches regard the rank of Eagle as being significant enough to warrant a bump in rank and pay. Finally, in 2024 NASA astronauts class, 20% of astronauts were Eagle Scouts. Now we would like to have Justin Redfern of Troop 149, please come forward.
Thank you, George. Scouting fosters the highest ideals of citizenship. It is little wonder that so many of our nation's leaders had some of their earliest experiences in scouting. Now scouting has changed and evolved over the years, but one thing remains constant. Total development from childhood to adulthood depends on physical, mental, and moral growth as expressed in the Scout Oath. The skills are demanding and the challenges are great. It's not surprising to learn that only about 4 to 5% of scouts who ever wear the scout uniform achieve the rank of Eagle. When most youth enter scouting, they picture themselves as someday becoming an Eagle Scout. However, as we all know, there are many activities and interests that clamor for their time and attention. The flames that are burning and the aspirations that they start with can quickly dim to ashes and flicker away. And young scouts, they stop short. Conversely, determination and commitment of scouts lead them to further achievement. For scouting, the rank of Eagle is the highest rank attainable in scouting. However, the universal appreciation of Eagles as a symbol of excellence and leadership began long before scouting. The appeal of the majestic eagle has been felt by every great people from prehistoric times to the present day. To Egyptians, the eagle was the messenger from the gods and the sun, the symbol of eternal life. To the Romans, the eagle was the carrier of Jupiter's thunderbolts and a sign of power. To Native Americans, the eagle stood as the incentive to valor and a pledge of victory. For us today, the eagle is the living symbol of all courageous and freedom-aspiring Americans. When the Eagle Scout badge was designed in 1912, it was decided that a small silver eagle would be suspended from a tricolor ribbon of red, white, and blue, and so it remains today. And what does that badge represent? It means that a scout has set a goal, worked to achieve that goal. And the Eagle Scout badge stands for strength of character. The Eagle Scout badge is a symbol of what a scout has done, but more importantly represents what the scout will be in the future as they grow to adulthood.
Now will we have Bev Strader and John Suggs please come forward of Troop 175. They will be presenting Jackson's Trail to Eagle.
Good afternoon. We gather to honor not just a scout, but a journey. A journey that began more than a decade ago with a young boy joining Cub Scout Pack 175 on September 12, 2013. I myself was part of that pack at the time. That boy, Jackson Raper, grew through the ranks of Cub Scouting and earned his Arrow of Light on April 28, 2018. This is the highest award that a Cub Scout and a symbol of readiness for the trail ahead. Incidentally, the trail or the Arrow of Light is the only award from Cub Scouts that can continue to be worn not only on the older Scouts BSA uniform, but also a Scout Leader uniform as an adult. Jackson crossed over to Troop 175, where his path in Scouts began. On May 1st, 2018, he earned the rank of Scout and began the long climb to Eagle.
From the first rank of Scout, Jackson advanced steadily. He achieved tenderfoot November of 18, second class in November of 19. In 2020, despite a long pause due to COVID, Jackson still somehow managed to continue his journey by attaining the rank of first class in December of 2020. Each rank represented not just skills learned, but growth and maturity and responsibility. He continued forward. Star rank in April 21 and life in January of 22. In July 22, Jackson was inducted into the Order of the Arrow, Scouting's National Honor Society, recognizing those who best exemplify the Scout spirit of cheerful service.
But this journey wasn't without more obstacles. In the summer of 2022, as Jackson was preparing for his final leg of his journey to Eagle, Troop 175 received the disappointing news that the troop would lose its sponsoring charter. Lack of a sponsoring organization combined with dwindling members meant the troop would have to fold by the end of the year. With only a few months left in the year, Jackson found himself without a permanent home in Scouting and not enough time to plan and execute a project. Some might have thrown in the towel at this point. However, Jackson did the opposite. He kept attending meetings with 175 while also diving into life with Troop 149, often attending 2 Scout meetings a week. This new path forward for Jackson also served as a catalyst to bring his older brother Alex back into Scouting. Alex is here today and now serves as an assistant Scoutmaster with Troop 149, something that likely would not have happened if Jackson had given up.
That December, literally a few weeks before 175 was slated to fold, Jackson's Eagle Project was approved by the old North State Council at Greensboro. A plan to refurnish the garden shed at the Kathleen Clay Edwards Library, it would become the final Eagle Project approved under Troop 175. A meaningful close to a beloved chapter. But Scouting has been only one part of Jackson's life. He also ran cross country and track at Northwest Guilford High School. He's a student of AP Art, AP German, and a proud member of the German National Honor Society. This is especially beautiful as the native tongue of his great-great-grandparents was German.
Jackson is a creative soul, too. After a brief stint of guitar lessons in middle school, something else in his life that was paused as a result of COVID, he picked it back up, mostly teaching himself. With encouragement from GCUMC's choir director, Melanie Crump, and Pastor Andres, Jackson joined the GCUMC Praise Band, playing at youth retreats, worship services, and United Methodist Conference events across the region over the last 2 years. His faith and leadership extended beyond music. Jackson served on the church council as a youth representative and helped plan conference-wide youth events that touched the lives far beyond his own. But life, as it often does, brought new adventures and challenges.
Back in Scouting just 6 short months after joining Troop 149, in June of 2023, Jackson accepted yet another significant responsibility, crew leader for an international high-adventure trip to Switzerland with Troop 149. While it was an unforgettable, once-in-a-lifetime experience, it required responsibility, planning, and trust. Balance in school, Scouting, and leadership meant his Eagle Project had to wait. Then, before he knew it, the challenges of 11th grade hit, oh boy, and they hit hard. This was yet another test of Jackson's endurance and resilience. But in a nutshell, this showed his tenacity. Jackson simply did not give up.
In February of 2024, Jackson found his second wind, or maybe his third. We've lost count. With support and help from family, friends, and members of both Troop 175 and 149 and the congregation here, in short, many of you that are here today, he held a spaghetti lunch fundraiser, which breathed new life into his efforts. To be sure, without this infusion of funding, his project never would have seen the light of day, and we would likely not be gathering here together today. On September 30th, 2024, at the age of 17, Jackson completed his project. Just 1 week later, on October 8th, 2024, he passed his final board of review at the council office and attained the rank of Eagle Scout.
Jackson earned 30 merit badges, leadership across 2 troops in a very much time of change, gave service to his church, expressed creativity in the arts, and excellence in academics and athletics. Jackson has grown into a leader of quiet strength, lasting character. He faced challenges, or as his father likes to say, opportunities, logistical, academic, and personal, but he never lost sight of the goal. He honored 2 troops. He led his peers across an ocean. He continually showed the perseverance and character of an Eagle Scout. In all of this, Jackson is a shining example of what it means to be a well-rounded, resilient, and grounded in values.
Jackson, you've earned the rank of Eagle Scout, a title only 5% of scouts who wear the uniform ever achieve. But more importantly, you've lived the meaning behind it. Your journey is not just a trial of badges and ranks, or even a trail of badges and ranks. It's a trail of faith, honor, service, integrity, perseverance, and growth. Some may say that the trail ends here, but it doesn't. It rises from here. The world needs Eagle Scouts like you, and we are proud to walk beside you as you continue to soar.
Thank you, Beth and John. Like I said, he's stubborn. And he sticks to it. In scouting, as in most activities of life, there are rules. The rules of scouting are found in the 12 points of the Scout Law. Let's reflect on the principles contained in those words. With the help of these scouts. I think you can come over here. I think we have this mic as I look in the sky. A scout is trustworthy.
A scout tells the truth. He keeps his promises. Honesty is part of his code and conduct.
A scout is loyal.
A scout is true to his family, friends, scout leaders, school, nation, and world community.
A scout is helpful.
A scout is concerned about other people. He willingly volunteers to help others without expecting payment or reward.
A scout is friendly.
A scout is a friend to all. He is the brother to other scouts. He seeks to understand others. He respects those with ideas and customs that are different from his own.
A scout is courteous.
A scout is polite to everyone, regardless of age or position. He knows that good manners make it easier for people to get along together.
A scout is kind.
A scout understands there is strength in being gentle. He treats others as he wants to be treated. He does not harm or kill anything without reason.
A scout is obedient.
A scout follows the rules of his family, school, and troop. He obeys the laws of his community and country. If he thinks these rules and laws are unfair, he tries to have them changed in an orderly manner rather than disobey them.
A scout is cheerful.
A scout looks for the bright side of life. He cheerfully does tasks that come his way. He tries to make others happy.
A scout is thrifty.
A scout works to pay his way and to help others. He saves for the future. He protects and conserves natural resources. He's careful, uses time and property.
A scout is brave.
A scout can face danger even if he is afraid. He has the courage to stand for what he thinks is right, even if others laugh at him or threaten him.
A scout is clean.
A scout keeps his body and mind clean, fit and clean. He goes around with those who believe in living by these same ideals. He helps keep his home and community clean.
A scout is reverent.
A scout is reverent towards God. He is faithful to his religious duties. He respects the beliefs of others.
The Scout Law guides a scout in all parts of their life. Today we will have two scoutmasters from Jackson's scouting experience to offer reflections on this scouting journey. Would Robert and Cheryl Willis please come forward I would like to introduce the former Scoutmaster of Troop 175 and former Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 175, Cheryl Willis, to share about Jackson for the Scout remarks. Retired. That means no. Retired for real.
It's been a long trail. 33, 34 years for me and 37 for Cheryl, so, as leaders. I was in Scouts before that. So it has been a long trail for all of us. Jackson,
Forgive us, Jackson, we're going to talk to you.
to you.
Everybody else is just sort of
Y'all can
here.
just listen in. But as two of his former Scout leaders, Cheryl and I are really, honestly, deeply honored to be here to take part in this Eagle ceremony. You're an exceptional young man, Jackson. We first met Jackson when he joined Cub Scouts in Pac 175. We were leaders then. Jackson was quiet, but he was involved. And he met the expectations of his leaders.
And as we've heard, a Scout goes through uncertain times, and you've had your fair share just to get to a day like today. And if we all here, including yourself, take a moment to think about every young man out of that 100 that joins Scouting, as a group, that 100 Scouts is kind of predictable. But individually, you never quite know. Who knows what you'll be thinking today or tomorrow? Tomorrow you'll wake up in a new world. Yesterday you may have been passionate about one thing. Tomorrow your heart will be set on something else. That's called growing up.
Scouting thrives on all of this uncertainty. We set surmountable obstacles. We ask the right questions. We guide you toward the right answers. Scouting provides a safe environment where failure has a real consequence. Success also has real rewards. As members of a patrol and a troop, they learn new skills. They face new challenges. They understand how to use the resources they and their fellow Scouts have to achieve goals. This takes desire to reach a goal, a grit to overcome the obstacles, both physical and mental, and the perseverance to complete it. At Camp Durant, Jackson was in a leg cast. Rather than dropping his merit badge classes on the far side of camp, he attended all of them. A little help from Dad. When Jackson was faced with an incomplete merit badge, rifle, Jackson kept looking for ways to get it done. It took him 2 years, but he got it done.
He did it.
He earned his rifle. Each Scout brings resources to their patrol and troop. Jackson wasn't the largest or heaviest or strongest in the troop. But when his patrol needed to build a litter in competition and transport somebody across it, or when they needed to pass a Scout through a rope barricade without touching the ropes, Jackson was just the willing Scout they needed.
Each Scout makes their own way. Some Scouts, like you, Jackson, make it to Eagle Court of Honor. Now, Robert and I and a few others in this room have been around long enough to watch our Scouts go from day to day to become college professors, military leaders, engineers, teachers, executives, tradesmen, business professionals,
Chefs.
parents, and leaders. While each follow a different path, most everyone are contributing, compassionate leaders, not just in Scouting, but in their community with a sense of service. And that's our measure of success in Scouting. That's our aim. Jackson, we recognize your accomplishments today, and it will be some time before we know what you will become, what your goals may change over time. The badge and the medal you receive today symbolize this vast potential. And I have talked with many scouts in 37-plus years. It was the best part about being a leader. Most have some idea how to get to here, but are not exactly sure. And Jackson, just for the record, you did a lot of work, but it took a village. And we're very happy and proud to be a part of your village. However, at the end of it all being said and done, it was your dedication and your perseverance in completing the requirements that ultimately got you here today.
So the road to Eagle is long and hard, as you well know. Completing Scout to Life ranks, which includes board of review for rank advancement, earning required merit badges, and completing an extensive project, passing a final Eagle Board of Review. Every Eagle develops qualities during this journey, qualities that help guide you through the rest of your life. You have developed these qualities of self-reliance, and you've learned to trust others. You have learned about doing things right and doing the right thing. You have learned the importance of honor and personal integrity, and about helping others and caring about them. Jackson, I believe most of these qualities, they come naturally to you.
And it's not just scouts that learn. A scout leader learns something new from each and every scout. So what have I learned from you, Jackson? Well, one thing, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to stand at the top of a mountain and find the courage to face that fear and conquer it and show your bravery. I remember standing at the NOC with you at the zip line, and it took a number of attempts. I believe your dad walked away. He got on the line and left you.
It was fun.
It was. It took quite some time for you to face that down and show your bravery and conquer that fear. But when you did, I will say that I was there when I watched you step off in faith. And I was so proud of you because I didn't talk you into it. You talked yourself into it. And I was privileged to see you step off in faith. And I wished so much I could have been at the platform when you got there to see your face. I know it must have beamed in success.
Fortunately, I was privileged to be at the other end, and in fact, it was beaming in success, but mostly relief.
More importantly, I learned that being a leader is not enough to attain Eagle rank. Don't get me wrong. Learning to be a leader is important, very important, and it's vital for a scout to make it to Eagle. It's just not enough, though. To be a successful scout, you must be a follower also. Are any of you surprised that you need to follow? Well, throughout your scouting career, Jackson, you were tested often. And in these situations, you had to follow your heart. You had to keep your spirit up, your stamina, your mental toughness. And I know that you faced many, many challenges, of which John and Beth listed a number of them. But you didn't lose your spirit. You followed your heart. You moved along the trail successfully.
Often as a younger scout, and as an older one too, a boy has to decide which path to take. Sometimes the decision is clear. There's a right way and a wrong way. Sometimes the decision only becomes clear after you look back. Sometimes the choice is never clear. And it can even take months or years later, you're still not sure if you made the right choice. In many situations, the Eagle candidate must follow his gut. You can call it intuition, experience, or you can even call it a guess. The Eagle knows he has to make a decision, a choice, and using all of his resources, including his gut-level sense of right and wrong, you follow that sense.
And of course, the Eagle candidate listens to the advice of parents, scoutmasters, his Eagle advisor, other family members, teachers, friends, fellow scouts, even strangers have some advice. Some of it's good, some of it's better. The successful Eagle learns which advice to discard and which to follow. And what I learned from you, Jackson, is that Eagle Scouts are as good at following as they are at leading. And maybe, well, maybe not maybe, that has made the difference. It's one of the reasons you're standing here before us this afternoon. You may still wear that life rank, but you have been an Eagle since you walked out of that meeting at the Scout office. You are an Eagle. You followed your heart. Congratulations.
Thank you, Robert and Cheryl. And so the number comes up to 71 years of scouting between the two of you? 71 years of scouting. Wow. That's all? Yes. I understand there may be others here, not at 72, but others here that may have some stories to share about Jackson's journey. If you have a short, that's in parentheses, short story to share, please come forward at this time. Any good story is welcome, but mildly embarrassing. No, let's see. Short story, very embarrassing, gets extra credit. Oh, we have I thought I was going to have to prime the pump. I was ready. He's been waiting. Here you go, sir. We have Tom Corbin.
My name's Tom Coburn. I was and am honored that Jackson asked me to be one of the 149 leaders to help him with his Eagle project. And I think it says a lot about Jackson that he asked me. Any of the scouts that know me know that I will advise, I will support, I will encourage, but I'm the last person who's going to do any of the work. So if a scout asks me to help them with be their Eagle advisor, it means that they are confident enough that they are going to be the ones who are going to do the work, and it is their project, and they are going with it. And it was his project, and he went with it. Now, it's been described a little bit as working on a shed, but this was a much bigger project than that those words seem to indicate. This is a fairly decent-sized building, and working on the shed involved basically taking off, rebuilding, and replacing all 4 of the walls, taking off the steps that were going up to the shed, rebuilding new steps and putting them on, and also dealing with any of the edging and stuff that needed to work on that. So it was a much bigger project than that. And some of it turned out to be a bigger project than he anticipated. I remember there were quite a few of us that were working on those stairs going up because the walls wanted to come down. They really wanted to come down. The stairs did not want to come off. And they were attached a little more firmly than I think that anyone thought that they were going to be attached to that building. Now, as will surprise no one, knowing who Jackson's father is, he had plans for how this project was going to go. And the plans were fairly detailed, as Jonathan had taught him to do. And the plans involved how much work could be done on any particular day, taking into consideration how many volunteers he thought there were going to be, and also so at the end of every workday, things like the weather would be taken care of, that you couldn't have a sudden storm and flood the building because you'd taken off the roof. Well, no plan survives contact with the enemy. And in this case, the enemy were the adult volunteers. Okay. All those of you who have worked on an Eagle project will know and have seen that adult volunteers tend to be just a tad bit enthusiastic when we get involved, when we get working on an Eagle project. And in this case, there were numerous instances of you would have one of the adult volunteers, possibly including me on several different occasions, that would have been assigned a task by Jackson. We would finish the task. He'd be on the other side of the building, and we'd be like, oh, well, we're already up on this ladder. Why don't we just remove this in addition to the stuff that we had told him to do? So there were many times during the project, the first day, the second day, pretty much all throughout this project, that all of a sudden he realized that his plan was no longer really going to be adequate because there was something that was supposed to be weatherproof that was no longer weatherproofed. But what impressed me about Jackson was this. I'm not going to say there was no second guessing and no panic, but as I've heard recommended to me, always allow yourself 5 seconds of panic. It gets the adrenaline going, the endorphins going, and makes you come to better conclusions. And he a couple times allowed himself the 5 seconds of panic. But then he just went through and with a fair amount of calm, even though I don't know that he remembers it this way, but with a fair amount of calm, adjusted the plans on the fly. It did involve a little extra work for him and possibly just a little bit of extra work for his father during times of this project and a few other people that I know that made it work. But that's one of the things that impressed me about this project, like an Eagle project should do. This tested his leadership, it tested his ability to adopt on the fly, and he answered all those tests very well and completed a good Eagle project and well deserves to be here. So congratulations.
Any other stories? Okay, come on up. When you come up and tell the story, please be as close to the mic as you can so Kathy can see it, and Texas.
It's not embarrassing.
Okay, go back.
No, my name's Ed Wright, and I had a chance to work with Jackson for the years. I was his Cub Master for a while, and then was part of Troop 175 as a Assistant Scoutmaster, and had the experience of having a lot of high-energy kids, over the years. You guys know who you are. And what I always appreciated by Jackson was just this kind of calmness and kindness and helpfulness. And, when it was a Blue and Gold Banquet or Pinewood Derby, he would, come up and volunteer to help and stay and do that. And, I can remember a couple great things. We were camping, I want to say it was like March of 2019 or something like that up at Cherokee. And for some reason, the keys to my Jeep magically disappeared somewhere between the mess hall and the campsite. And Jackson and others, they were, especially, volunteering, they were combing that area forever. And I think, in fact, your kindness, I think you gave me a ride home and maybe even a ride back with my keys to get the car. By the way, if anybody's at Cherokee and finds some keys, they're mine, still 4, 5, 6 years later. So again, that just speaks to your kindness, your helpfulness. The other thing that kind of came to mind probably more recently was my son completed his Eagle project at Western Guilford, and we were putting down this concrete pad for the tennis team's shed and a ramp. And let's just say there weren't a lot of boys. It was a small troop at that point, and Jackson was there. And again, Jackson's not the strongest and the biggest guy that was there, and we woefully underestimated how hard it is to deal with concrete truck and concrete and laying it all out. And what I will say is the boys stayed a long time. They worked really hard. And Jackson, you were just super helpful and, kind about it. Everybody was just friendly, cheerful, helpful, all of the elements of the Scout, and was in there just helping us flatten things out and make it look nice. I think you guys were dead by the end of the day, laying on the ground. It was a long day, but we couldn't have done it without Jackson's help. And so again, just appreciate the kindness and the helpfulness. And I think that's going to go a long way for you in life. You know, when you're working at a job and have a career down the road, keep that in mind, that friendliness and that helpfulness and kindness. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other stories? I thought I saw somebody moving. Yeah. Oh, it's a story coming from the back.
I'm sorry, I'm actually dressed for my job that's later on after this. I'm the youth director here at the church. More appropriately, I'm the director of chaos. So part of my chaos is working with students and amazing students. And just a quick story that it will only take me 45 minutes to tell is just an example of who Jackson is to me. And he is a friend to all. Jackson is a unique person and a unique leader in a lot of ways. He's always okay with failure. He will try, and even not knowing if he's going to be successful or not, he will try. And he'll be okay with not quite hitting the mark on the first time. And that speaks to his persistence that you've heard a lot here. One of the thing that comes to mind is Jackson got to be on the Conference Council on Youth Ministries, which is a small group of youth that get together and they plan this major event for youth groups across the United Methodist Churches Conference. And our group is just kind of a unique group. We've got some unique individuals. We have our unique culture, which is really kind of cool. And so Jackson kind of stepped out into a whole new world away from our group in some ways. And anyway, so one of the responsibilities is that you've got to be willing to do things, because at this retreat that they plan, they run everything from small groups to reflection groups to being in the praise band to doing all these different things. So, and he was always willing to volunteer. He was always willing to have the experience to go and try. So one of the things that he got to be was he got to lead a reflection group. And I think Jackson learned that 6th and 7th graders may not be his population that he wants to work with in life. And so at the end of this retreat, I had a fellow youth worker to share a video of our group, which was really kind of neat. And she's like, I just love your group. Your group's amazing. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's right. I think so. And she shares this video where our group is kind of arm in arm as we worship, which is kind of what we do. And in the video, there's this little guy who just kind of like comes up a little bit, and he's watching the group, and he's looking around, and then he taps Jackson on the shoulder, right? Taps you on the shoulder, and he's like gesturing, and Jackson's like, yeah, come on in, you know? And so he gets in, and the whole place just kind of reshuffles and everything. And she's like, that's just really cool that your group does that. He must have been coming back from the bathroom. And I was like, guys, I don't even know who that kid is. All right? I have no idea who this kid is. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, he's not part of our group, but apparently he really wanted to be part of the group. But then I asked Jackson about him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I remember him. And I said, well, where do you remember him from? He was like, yes, he was in my reflection group that I led. And I was like, really? And he's like, yes, he was the most annoying kid in my reflection group. And I said, well, that's interesting. He said, so I decided I was going to try to be extra nice to him. So that kid felt the world of you. A lot of others do too. That speaks to who you are. Your heart, your kindness, even for the folks that you might not want to think they deserve it. It means a lot to them. So, thank you.
stories. Any embarrassing? No? I was about to call out my boys. No? No stories? Yeah, that's what I think. I tried to think of a story. I polled my boys to see. I asked George, and he said, no, I can't really think of anything embarrassing. I was like, I need embarrassing. I don't need good. He's going to hear a lot of good tonight. He's going to his church. They're going to say he's good. I need embarrassing. Asked Charlie, and Charlie's like, well, you remember that time we had some new kids come, and they were trying to start a fire, and then they used the spray thing, and then they burnt the tent. And I was like, was Jackson there? He's like, no. Jackson would have told him not to do that. Not helpful, son. Not helpful. But I guess it's a story without a story. You were kind of there. I met Jackson before he joined, because he was one of what we call almost an honorary tiger, because he was the younger brother, and he was coming. And I think even then you had a focus that you didn't see in maybe a younger child. Sometimes as a scout leader or just a leader in general, you try to build kids up. You see where they want to go. You ask them, like, what do you want to be? Or what do you want to do? And you try to give them things to help them do that, to add to it. It's like, well, maybe, you want to be an astronaut. Well, you should focus on math. You should focus on this, or focus on studying. And sometimes you're helping a kid that maybe it's like, I want to be a chef, but they're eating dirt, and you can't see it at that time. It's like he'll come around. That's more of a, as opposed to seeing something. There's something about vision. If it's a vision, if you can see it, it's just there. But it's a vision, it's something you can't see. And with you, Jackson, I really see it. I could, when they were doing the project, I was there when they picked out the project. I can't remember what stage it was at before, when we went to look at this wonderful shed before you got a hold of it. Thank you. And the troop was disbanding, 175. I was not concerned about you finishing it, the project. That was the least of my worries, because I knew how intense and how focused you were. So I'm just very proud that you got it done, as I knew you would. But thank everybody for sharing your stories. If there are no more, we're confirming. I would like to call up John Hort, and actually call up Jackson as well. Could you please come forward?
Webster's dictionary describes an eagle as a large bird of prey with sharp vision and powerful wings. Famous for their strength, their size, their grace, and their keen vision. It's a national emblem of the United States, the bald eagle. Though the eagle is found throughout the world, they're never found in abundance. They're always rare, they're always superb, and great in what they do. That being said, we are fortunate to have eagles nesting just a few miles from here. If you know where to look, around Lake Townsend and Lake Higgins, especially near Hamburg Mill Road, and Strawberry Road, you might just see one. In scouting, the eagle stands for strength of character. The eagle stands for knowledge of all phases of scouting. The eagle represents an understanding of community and nation with deep respect for both. The eagle is a symbol of what a young scout has done, as well as what a young scout is going to do once he is no longer a young scout and becomes a young man. What they will do when they grow to adulthood and beyond. The eagle is a leader, respected by both their peers, by their fellow adults, and by their overall community. All Eagle Scouts present, I ask you to rise and receive the Eagle Charge for our newest Eagle, Jackson Thomas Raper. For those Eagles present, please join me in the Scout sign. Scouting America constitutes one of the most wholesome and significant movements in history, and you, Jackson Raper, have been counted worthy of its highest rank in membership. All who know of you and your accomplishments rejoice in this day. Your position, as you well know, is one of responsibility and honor. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to all of mankind. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your fellow Scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you. But these good things depend on the qualities that she instills in her citizens. As an Eagle Scout, you are prepared to help America do everything that she needs to do most. She has a great past, and you are here to make her future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service to God and to your fellow man. We have too many who use their strength and their intellect to exploit others for selfish gains. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. Build America on the solid foundations of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Whatever others may do, I charge you to leave behind a record of which every citizen in this great nation may be proud. Fellow Eagles, please be seated. Eagle Scout Jackson Thomas Raper. As a representative of the Eagle Scouts of the Old North State Council, across the nation, Troop 49 and Scouting America, I welcome you to the Brotherhood of Eagle Scouts. Only 4 or 5%, depending on what source you look at, of anyone who joins Scouting make it to where Jackson is standing right now. And this afternoon, we serve to recognize your accomplishments. You've done great work. However, these demanding and fair requirements are not all that you are going to achieve in your life. This ceremony, this is not an ending. This is a new beginning, a continuation. I think back to when I received my Eagle 10 years ago in March of 2015. I had a great patrol that I went with, and across the years since then, the experiences that led me to my Eagle Scout Award have come back and paid dividends, both in and out of Scouting. This is something that you'll never forget. The feeling of accomplishment that you feel now will rise up time and time again as you go throughout your life, in reference not only to your Eagle Scout Award, but any other accomplishment that you're going to have throughout what you do in Scouting, out of Scouting, in school, out of school, in your professional life. You'll think back to that feeling that you have right now and recognize the familiarity. This award will go beyond Scouting. When you apply for college or a job, Eagle Scout on your resume will be something that sparks some interest that might not have been there otherwise. I know this because I've seen it a few times. Every time I've come up for a job, that's something that I can speak to, something that catches their eye, and it, for you, will serve the same purpose. In every aspect of your adult life, you will find someone who shares that common bond, a fellow Eagle, a fellow Scout, and instantaneously, you're going to have that bond with them. You're going to know that you can trust them and vice versa. And that is one of the most powerful things that this award yields to you. But more than that, the things you've done, the leadership and character skills that you have developed, they'll naturally make you stand out better than any certificate or piece of ribbon ever could. We've heard numerous attestations to your character here today. That will continue. Throughout whatever it is that you choose to do with your life, those around you will look to you not because you're an Eagle Scout, but because you have proven yourself time and time again as someone who will go the extra mile, someone who can be depended upon and be trusted, and someone who will look out for others. In the years to come and across the various stages of your life, you'll meet other Eagles. And once more, you'll think of the bonds that you've shared, your common experiences. And then you can develop even better teams and friendships based on that. Many of the friendships I still have are based on my Eagle Scout peers and friends. That camaraderie will extend throughout the nation, around the world, and throughout whatever you do with your life. Wherever you go, Jackson, you will travel as a marked man. You'll travel as an Eagle Scout. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Thank you. Stay up here. Yeah.
Jackson, I think you can stay right there. Thank you, sir. Stay. Thank you. A leader must also follow. All right. All right. Michael Simmons, please come forward. Scouts and guests, please rise as able. At this time, Eagle Michael Simmons will lead Jackson in the Eagle Oath.
Jackson, will you please give the Scout sign and repeat after me? I reaffirm my allegiance.
I reaffirm my allegiance
To the three promises
to
of the Scout Oath.
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
Thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and the responsibilities
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
to make my rank and influence
to make my rank and influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship
and for better citizenship
in my troop and in my community,
in my troop and in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
and in my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
Congratulations.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you. Scouts and guests may be seated. Now we're going to have Scoutmaster John Leone now has a special presentation for Jackson.
How you feeling, Jackson? Still hanging in there?
Good, yeah. You?
Doing well, doing well. I'm going to ask you to hold something for me,
I got you.
and hold it so the audience can see it, please. Got it. It's been a long-standing tradition. Did I say something funny?
No, I just smiled.
Okay. It's been a long-standing tradition of our troop to recognize the achievement of the rank of Eagle with a presentation case and a flag that has been flown over our nation's capital in honor of your achievement as the rank of Eagle. The flag of our nation represents freedom, liberty, and justice. These are privileges that came with a dear price that has been repeatedly paid for throughout the history of our country. Each scout wears the image of our flag on the right shoulder of their uniform for a purpose. This larger version that you're holding here is intended to serve as a reminder both of your accomplishment in scouting and of our country's proud heritage. Troop 149 requested a United States flag be flown over the nation's capital on October 8th, 2024, in recognition of your achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout. I'd like to present to you your personal flag. Congratulations. With this is a certificate from Senator Tom Tillis, also acknowledging the flag flown on your behalf.
So I'll take that out of your hand, because I know you don't want to hold it all day. I can try. But again, congratulations.
Don't go anywhere. I don't know if you heard before you say that, before Scoutmaster Leone was going to take the flag for him, you say, I know you don't want to hold it all day. He said, I'll try. No, don't try. Don't do it. In honor of Jackson's achievements, several organizations several organizations have recognized his commitment to excellence. To date, Jackson has received a letter of congratulations and certificate from the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, NASA, and the National Park Service, and the Order of the Arrow. We also have a member of the Marine Corps League in attendance who has a presentation for Jackson as well. Would retired Lieutenant Colonel Jim Hayes please come forward?
Thank you. This is not the first one of these that I've done. Your story is unique to any that I've heard before. My congratulations on overcoming the challenges that you had. Good job. And I can't reiterate enough, for the rest of your life, put that on your resume. You are an Eagle Scout. Good. That shows perseverance, setting a goal, and over the years, following that goal to completion. Many young people today don't have that, so great job. From the Marine Corps League Good Citizenship Award, presented to Jackson Thomas Raper, who has attended the rank of Eagle Scout. Signed, Scott Matthews, Commandant, Ron Metter, Chairman, April 27, 2025. Congratulations. I also have a challenge coin. On one side, it has the Marine Corps emblem, United States Marine Corps League, Greater Greensboro, Det 260. And on the back side, Good Citizenship Award, once an Eagle, always an Eagle. Kind of playing on the Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. And has the Scout Law and the spokes on the back. Congratulations. I also brought with me a scholarship application that you feel free to fill out and return to us. You will go before a scholarship board if you wish to fill the scholarship application out, but we try to reward folks locally. Again, congratulations on a job well done, son.
That's good. That's good. Before you want to give that paper, just hold on to that paper. Your father's going to want it. Your mother's going to want it. We'll get the paper to you. Don't you worry. Yeah, they need the scholarship. But technically, before we call the parents up, we're calling Jonathan up, who's also a parent. So it's a little admin. And would you please come up? We have a special presentation.
Thank you, George. I cannot tell you how much it means to our family that you all are here today. And especially for the role that each of you have played in Jackson and Alex's lives, and in our lives as a family. I'm going to try to get through this, so please be patient with me for a few moments. Quite often, as an Eagle Court of Honor is approaching, the parents of the Eagle recipient will typically receive inquiries from family and friends asking what gift they can get the new Eagle. This case was no exception. Generally speaking, the answer is that no gift is necessary, only your presence to help us celebrate. After all, the typical scout doesn't do this for gifts or awards. And yes, I do realize the irony of that statement and that this is literally an award ceremony for Jackson. The point of the Eagle isn't the award itself. It's simply the culmination of what is typically a decade-long journey, maybe a little bit less for some overachievers, but it's about 8 to 10 years from the time a youth enters Cub Scouts to the time they achieve the rank of Eagle. But invariably, people will give gifts to the Eagle. Sometimes it's a card, maybe a gift card, money, or some token that may be meaningful to the Scout. My case was no different. I received several gifts. One of them stuck out in memory, while all the rest faded away. 34 years ago in 1991, when I received my Eagle, my Aunt Rachel, who lives in Florida, gave me a small eagle statue. I hung my Eagle certificate proudly in my bedroom after in high school, but after that, it never really made it up on the wall again. I still have it, of course, but it's just not something that I put out front and center. That statue, however, has held a place of prominence on my desk for the better part of 20 years. As people would come into my office, it was often a point of comment or conversation, which naturally, of course, led to them finding out that I was an Eagle. At one point, a longtime friend and coworker, our friend Robin, whose beach house we rent every year, who knew of my story, timidly and hesitantly asked, "I have a question, and I completely understand if the answer is no. But my son Sam is about to receive his Eagle. Would it all be possible for me to use that statue in his ceremony?" Without hesitation, my answer was yes. That is the only time this statue has been out of my possession. I had no hesitation, because I knew that not only was she a friend, but she was the mother of an Eagle. Few people understand the significance more than the mother of an Eagle. I don't believe I've ever introduced myself as, "Hi, I'm Jonathan, I'm an Eagle Scout." That'd be a little weird, maybe a little awkward, wouldn't it? Hopefully I don't need to, but that statue kind of did it for me. But that wasn't the goal or the point. The intent was really for me. Seeing that Eagle statue always reminded me of the character that I needed to uphold, even when things weren't necessarily going the way that they should or the way that I wanted. It reminded me to be humble in times of success, because whatever successes I had were not mine and mine alone, but the success of my team and others around me. Hopefully that is the hallmark of any good leader, and it's quality I proudly see in Jackson, even if he doesn't see it yet in himself. Jackson Thomas Raper. Yes, I used all 3 names, but at least this time you're not in trouble. Today, I proudly present you with this Eagle statue, as it is now yours. May it inspire you as it has me to continually strive to be a great and humble leader. May it inspire you to continually strive to uphold the ideals of Scouting. May it help you to inspire others along the way. May it lead to many engaging and fruitful conversations. And may it be a constant reminder of all of the Eagles who came before you. And may it give you hope for the Eagles who come after. And finally, if one day a friend and mother of a soon-to-be Eagle timidly asks you if she can borrow it, I would encourage you to say yes without hesitation, because she understands the significance more than most. Jackson, your mother and I are incredibly proud of you, and we love you beyond words. Congratulations.
Now, will the parents of Jackson please come up? And standing in for Kathy will be Cheryl Willis.
My first words are to your mom. What Jonathan said is true, Kathy. No one quite understands it like a mom. I was quite honored, humbled, and shed quite a few tears yesterday when I was asked to stand in for you because there is no one that can take your place. So I am temporarily pinning this, and he knows he can only wear it until after the ceremony. And when his dad will unpin it, and then you will have the official pinning during your family time. Jackson, what an absolute honor and privilege this is. And I didn't say it when Robert and I were talking earlier, because I wanted to say it now. Often we as leaders say how proud we are, but to be proud of something means that you have had to have something to do with it. And while we did have a little, I stand here today in awe of you because I didn't do this. You did. Congratulations, and I'm hugging like your mom would.
Dusty in here. Jackson is also presenting Eagle Scout mentor pins to those who significantly impacted his scouting journey. Please come forward as your name is cited or called.
Do your thing. If someone sure takes pictures later when you want to do this.
I'm not calling Would Robert Willis, Cheryl Willis, Tom Corbin, and Beth Strader please come forward? You're not in trouble, Beth. It's okay. We're all crying for a good reason. Robert, I'll be first. Stand it upside down. Sure.
I'll say it out loud. I know now why he wanted us to wear uniforms. It's easier to pin. Ow. No. An actress comes out every day.
Got it.
That was Wayne. That's not you. That's a Wayne thing. Job well done, Wayne.
He has to do it on his own.
He's already said he won't help you.
Yeah, he did. He did. I heard him. Yay.
Truly an honor. What an honor.
One more time.
Yep. Can we go next?
Stay.
Well, if I had to talk,
You get plenty of time to talk. This is my time now. All right. I didn't even have to say. Everyone, please return to their seats.
I can come back up
Yeah.
and sit back.
They can come. They'll make it come back. All right. I present to you Jackson Raper, the newest Eagle Scout of Troops 175 and 149. Feels good, right? A little bit.
All in my head.
All right. Well, now we're going to turn it over to Jackson for comments. You ready?
I guess so.
We are too.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. It means a lot that all of you are here today. First of all, I did have prom last night, so my voice might be a little messed up. I don't know. But really, just truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here today. All of you are here because at some point in my life, you've been there to support me or have helped me in one way or another. And you're all here because you all want to see me succeed and achieve wonderful things like I am today. And truly, I thank you for that. Thank you for all of your presence, all of your support in my journey and in my life as a scout, in youth, in school, and beyond. First of all, to the Willises, who I pinned my mentor pins on. They've been my scoutmasters for the better part of a decade. They supported me through so much and through the majority of my journey as a scout before, sadly, Troop 175 had to disband at the end of 2022. They taught me how to be a scout, a young adult, and more importantly, a functioning member of society. They've sculpted me into the scout and young man you see here before you. Through many trips and over half my merit badges, I have them to thank for guiding me through the majority of my time in scouting, and truly, I thank you. To Tom Coburn. Tom I've known for years, mostly through my father and through this church. I got to know him even better when he started helping out with the youth group. But it was there that he came to talk to all the eligible scouts, or eligible ages for scouts in my youth group, and he started talking about the Switzerland trip. And it was then I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that. And I did. And somewhere along the way, I accidentally picked up crew leader for, about a dozen or so scouts for about 2 weeks in a foreign country. So that was interesting, but I thank Tom for it. But spending time with Tom at 149 and in Switzerland, and knowing him well prior to that, led me to deciding to take him on as my Eagle advisor. And it proved to be a very fruitful choice. He kept me on top of my work and reminded me every week at every meeting what I needed to do and by when. And as always, I'm going to say this lots, I thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for being there for me and doing all that for me. You helped me do a lot, so thank you. To Beth Strader. Beth, I have to thank for making sure everything at Troop 175 ran smoothly before it sadly had to disband. She did so much work, especially behind the scenes, to keep us going and keep us all, together, like a family almost. And she was just running around and doing whatever she could to help. And had it not been for her tireless efforts, I probably would not be here today, or standing before you. To my mother. As many of you know, my mother is not here today and sadly in a hospital right now due to some complications. And as sad as that is, her one wish was to keep us going, for us to keep doing this, and she could just watch online, sadly. My entire life she's been there for me, and this is no exception. She supported me and helped me through so much through this project and in my life, through school, through youth. I could be up here for hours. She helped me plan my fundraiser. She helped me go shopping for supplies and food and everything I needed. And truly, throughout my entire life, she's been my rock and my cheerleader. And truly, I thank you. Thanks, Mom. To my dad, last but not least, my father. I could go on and on about him for hours, but I won't bore you with all the details. My father, just the same as my mother, has been my cheerleader and rock throughout this all. For all of his help he gave me in writing up the project, the encouragement and firm words to push me through to get it done, his help with the construction and planning, his tireless weekends and efforts with me out in the shed, even when everyone else had gone home and it was just us two. To all of his all-nighters helping me get it all together and make this ceremony possible, thank you, Dad, for everything. I truly could not have done this without you or Mom or you all. Through your donations, through your time, truly thank you. I could not have done this without you.
Well, congratulations, Jackson. In honor of that, you can sit down. All the pastors are in the first pew now. They say it takes a village to raise, as Jonathan put it, raise a family. On behalf of Jackson and his parents, thank you for being a part of today's ceremony, and more importantly, thank you for being a part of our village, as you each helped make this journey possible. At the conclusion of this quarter honor, we invite everyone to join us in the fellowship hall for refreshments and to congratulate Jackson. However, to formally conclude the ceremony, we would like for everyone to join us in a long-held tradition of Scouting Vespers. You will find an insert in your program. I'll wait for you to find it. Like when you're in church, I'll wait for you to find the page. This is a short tune, typically sung at summer camp and on camping trips around campfires, and holds a special place in the heart of many Scouts. In the case of Troop 175, this was how we concluded every meeting. If you're not familiar with it, that's okay. We'll sing through it twice, and you can join in on the second time. We're going to do it? We're going to do it right. Stand up. Come forward. Cross it. Cross it.
How we ended every meeting.
You're in uniform, get up here.
Ryan.
All right, here we go. There they go. Fine. Here we go. All right.
All right.
Softly
falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared?
Scouts, are you prepared?
We are prepared.
Yeah, you can re-sit down, Jackson. One more time. As my grandmother said, one more again. All right. So now if we have concluded our ceremony, we can go for refreshments. We concluded? Let's have some cake. Let them eat cake.